Okay, the music. Now? Wow. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Blue Plate Special. You are live with us here at Wisdom Harbor Studios at the Wharf in Orange Beach, Alabama. Today, it's beautiful outside in Orange Beach. It's 88, 89 degrees, about 300% humidity. I noticed that when I walked outside this morning. It's like walking into a wall. But, you know, not for the people who come for the beach. When you're at the beach, it's fine. But living here sometimes can be, the humidity can be tough when you try to dress as nicely as I am dressed right now to go to work, and then you walk outside and you're wet by the time you get to the car. So people are joining us right now. I'm watching people walk around outside there at the wharf. Susan Atkinson, hi. Patricia Clapp, hi. Beth Lewis, Teresa Roller, hi. Danny Odell, hey, buddy. And yeah, I am, man, I'm coming back from the surgery. Things are good. Good days, bad days, but the bad days aren't even as bad as the days were before the surgery, you know. So Ricky Dearborn, hey. Mark Lowry is here. Hey, Mark. Mark. I've got Mark, just stay with me today because I got a great story for you. You are just going to love this story I'm going to tell you about Dottie West in a little bit. Hey, if you are new to us, or if you haven't pressed your notification button, please press that so that when we come, if you're watching on Facebook, because we're also on Instagram, we're live on Twitter with Brian Backen. We are here with YouTube with a lot of you. And there's Jeff Heron, Hot, Humie, Hazy, 100. Yeah, that's exactly right. But if you're on Facebook, click that notification button. And when we go live, you will be notified. Even if you're asleep, somebody will come in your bedroom, tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, Andy's live on Facebook if you want to join. So you'll be notified. And also there is a share button. If you look down, there's a share button there, and just figure that out. Okay, that would really help me a lot if you share this to your group, to your organization, because when you share this will be on your Facebook page. And if you are on YouTube, and even if you aren't on YouTube, just go on YouTube sometime and press the subscribe button on one of the Andy Andrews. That really helps me a lot. I would really appreciate that. Hey, we're going to have pizza after lunch. I mean, we here in the studio, if you were here, you could have pizza with us. But Gina Christmas got in touch with us and said, I'd like to buy you guys lunch today. And we're like, really? And so before I even had a vote, Matt Austin is here. Matt, Austin, SB, they had all chosen pizza. So we're having pizza. So Domino's is delivering in just a little bit. And I want to tell you, if you guys are ready, I guess a couple of things I wanted to tell you about. I did want to let you know about the podcast, okay? If you're not familiar with the Professional Noticer podcast, we would like you to be familiar with that. You know, we just released, was that this morning, Matt?
This morning.
This morning, we released episode number 100. And we thought, what are we going to do? You know, because we have interviews, we have question and answer, we have so many different things. We thought, what are we going to do for the 100th episode? And we decided, Matt said, I'll ask you 100 questions. I said, really? He said, yeah, let me ask you 100 questions. I said, well, they just got, you know, we've got to do that fast. I mean, that has the potential to be incredibly boring. But that was released this morning, and I don't think it's incredibly boring. Actually, Matt and I, we're getting tickled all the way through it. And so, but that's out. And you can, if you go on andyandrews.com and just make sure your address is in there on my VFP mailing list, you'll get those on your email, or you can subscribe on, you know, wherever, Spotify or iTunes, wherever you get your podcast. But we do them every week, and we're going to start doing them more often, and we're going to start doing them with video, and they're going to be live. Oh, my God. It's going to be great. But we would love for you to be a part of that. Some of those questions Matt should not have asked. And I think, were there only like 2 that I refused to answer?
I think so. 2 or 3. 2 or 3.
2 or 3?
Maybe only 2.
I think it's 2. I think it was 2 that I refused to. I said, I'm not going to answer that.
I could ask you him again right now.
What?
You want me to ask him again right now?
No, don't ask him again right now because I'll just refuse live. But there were, it's like, don't ask me that. I'm not going to answer that. I mean, I'm a little bit smarter than to answer. So, but you'll hear the question. You wouldn't have answered it either. Before I tell you the Dottie West story, and I'm going to tell you, this is one of the worst nights I ever had when I was working as a comedian. I say worst. It was one of the worst and the best. And it's something I've never forgotten. It taught me taught me 3 or 4 huge lessons. But before I tell you the Dottie West story, I want to tell you a story about something that's happening to a friend of mine right now. His name is Sean Parnell. Could we have Sean's happy face up on the screen, Matt?
Oh, look at him there.
He's so happy, so nice. Sean lives up in the Pittsburgh area, and I've known Sean for a number of years. Sean wrote a New York Times best-selling book about his life, and the name of the book is Outlaw Platoon. Okay, so there's the book. There is Happy Sean. Now, let me just tell you, Sean works under the auspices of Fairway Mortgage created this unbelievable, what do you call it, a nonprofit organization called AWI, American Warrior Initiative. And these people at Fairway put part of their income into funding this. So they're not always doing fundraisers or anything. They're just like funding this unbelievable thing. Got another one called Fairway Cares, cancer patients and their families. But this AWI, American Warrior Initiative, deals with returning veterans. Now, Sean was the captain. He was the head of what they called Outlaw Platoon. And huge, I mean, truly an American hero. Sean has a Purple Heart. He has 2 Bronze Stars, 1 Bronze Star for Valor, and just an unbelievable guy. Now, I'm going to tell you, Sean was actually speaking the other, I don't know, this is like a month or so ago, speaking with Louise Thaxton, we call her Wheezy, and they were somewhere in another state, and they were speaking for American Warrior Initiative, and all of a sudden Sean's phone starts blowing up. I mean, it's just like blowing up, and he's like about to go on stage, and he's looking, and about every 90 seconds, there's something coming in from his mother saying, call me, and she's like, oh no, what is going on? But he goes on stage, he speaks, and hey, Gene McDonald, and so he gets off stage and he calls his mother, and his mother's like incoherent, and he's like, Mom, is everything okay? She says, yes, everything's great. Well, here's the scoop. What had happened is the President of the United States had done a speech in Pittsburgh, had gone to Pittsburgh, and nobody knew he was going to do this, which hard to believe you wouldn't know what our president was going to do. But he, right in the middle of his speech, he said, if we're going to do we need, we need strong women and men to run for office in this country. We need people like Sean Parnell. We need people like Sean Parnell to run for Congress. We need people like this American hero from this area to run from office. And I'm calling on Sean Parnell to run for Congress. Well, Sean wasn't there. He didn't know this was going to happen. Nobody knew this was going to happen. Sean had never met this president. This president had never met Sean. And so within about a 24-hour period, Sean was like, I guess I'm running for Congress. And so and by the way, you know, he looks real happy in that picture. This is funny to me. He looks real happy and looks really nice. That doesn't look like a guy that you would be scared of, okay? But if you know, this is a guy with 2 Bronze Star for valor. And so if you're a bad guy and you meet Sean in an alley, you want me to show you what he would look like? Show me a mean picture of Sean, Matt.
There you go.
There's mean Sean. Okay, you know, so that's who you want on your side. But Sean is running for office, and if you want to Google Sean, and you know, there is a commercial that I just laughed out loud. I mean, you know, it's like I'm in this time now where I go, can I just like not watch television until November? I just like. I get so sick of these commercials, and of all things, who would have thought a friend of mine would have created a commercial that was very, very different. It's called the Dollar Sean Club. Yeah, you see the Dollar Shave Club. So that's the takeoff on that. But look up Dollar Sean Club. It went viral the other day. It was like 1.5 million views in the first day. And so there's Sean Parnell. And while you're at it, pick up Outlaw Platoon, read something about an American hero. Okay, I want to tell you the story now about Dottie West. Do you know who Dottie West is? You know who Dottie West is. Matt, could we see a picture of Dottie West?
Hey.
This is the beautiful Dottie West. Now, she toured a lot of times. You guys know that I did stuff with Kenny Rogers. Well, she also toured with Kenny sometimes. A lot of times it would be me, Dolly, and Kenny, or me, the Oak Ridge Boys, and Kenny, or me, Ronnie Millsap, and Kenny. But the other one that was there a lot was me, Dottie West, and Kenny. Now, I had met Dottie once before she showed up on that tour, and I showed up on there. I'd met her a couple of years earlier. And when I found out she was joining that tour for, you know, several months, I thought, oh, God, please, God, let her have forgotten me. Please, God, don't let her look at me and go, oh, I'm leaving. She was one of the first stars that I ever had the opportunity to be that star's opening act. And this was, I never will forget this. This is at the Opryland Hotel. And so I show up, you know, early, and this is a big thing. There's like 2,000 people there. And, you know, Dottie's band is on like tiers behind her. You know, they're set up. It's this big band, and they're set up in different levels. And so now at the time, the new cordless mics, that was the biggest deal, is the cordless mics. And at the time, as an opening act, you noticed very quickly that the star would use a cordless mic, but you, as the opening act, did not get a cordless mic. You were still using the microphone with the cord, okay? And so I had the meeting with Dottie. I did not meet Dottie before that show. Okay, she was coming in from somewhere else. It was going to be kind of a quick turn, and so I met with her road manager, and I was told, this is how we do this. This is what we do, and so I'm supposed to go out. I do my 30 minutes of my opening act, and then I am going to also MC. I'm going to introduce Dottie West. Okay, and they told me what to say, the awards, and please welcome Dottie West. So I'm supposed to do that. Then, at the end of the show, I am supposed to go back out on the stage and what's called taking her off, which is Dottie West, ladies and gentlemen, Dottie West. That's what. So I'm supposed to do that. Opening act, bring her on, and take her off. Okay, well, I'm already nervous. I mean, this is the first time she was probably I did something for some other people who called themselves stars, but she really was one. Okay, she really was one. And And so I go out and I do my bit. I do my 30 minutes. And then I look at the side of the stage and I see her. She's standing there. And so I start into the things that I'm supposed to say about her. And the band comes out. They filter out. They've already tuned their instruments. They're nice people. So they weren't standing behind me going, ding, 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 like, that's other stories about other people. But they were very nice. They'd already done it. They let me have my time on stage. And when I started introducing her, the band trots out, grabs their instruments. They're ready to go. The intro's kind of long anyway. It's a 7-time CMA award winner. So many gold records, so many platinum albums, millions. So all you're doing all this stuff. And I get to the end of that and go, and the band's already playing now. They're playing. And they go, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dottie West. And so I've kind of backed up a little bit, and she is like struts out. I mean, she's wearing high heels that are about this tall, and she's singing, and she's strutting, and the audience is going nuts. And so I've got to get out of her way. So I sweep the microphone cord, to get it out of her way, and I catch one of her high heels and put her right on the floor. I mean, she's like on her back, okay, and she keeps singing. She keeps singing. I'm like, I'm horrified. I'm just like, I just, God, please open up a place on the stage and just like take me out right now. Because, I go to the band, they can't help her. They're playing. And so I go and I'm trying to help her up. Well, she can't get those heels under her. The heels are like this. And I finally get her up. And she never missed a beat, man. She's still singing. I go off the stage. They're going to kill me. This is the last time I'll ever work. I'll never work again. She'll probably go to the hospital after this. I was horrified. So her show's like an hour 15, something like that. Now, nobody said don't take her off. You're too much of a danger to her. So I'm there ready. Yes, Mark. Yeah, Mark says, oh my gosh, you knocked Dottie down. Yeah, wait till you hear what's next. So I was just horrified. All right, so now I'm waiting, horrified, for an hour and 15 minutes for this show to end, and I'm supposed to go out and take her off. Now, I've already plotted my course across the stage with my cord, because I'm going to come to her and I'm not going to have to sweep it out of the way because the cord will be coming behind me, and I'm going to her. And so now I don't know the show. This is the first time I've ever seen her. And so the road manager, a lady, told me, she said she ends with Trilogy. Okay, which is the same thing Elvis ended with. Remember, hush, little baby, don't you cry, and that whole thing, and glory, glory, hallelujah, and die, die, die. So she's ending. They say she's ending with Trilogy, and it's okay. So I never really watched Elvis. I don't really. I mean, I kind of know the song, but I don't know the song, and I've never seen her show. Don't know how she does it. So I'm standing there on the side of the stage and holding the microphone. And, she gets to this one point, and the road manager's standing right beside me. I mean, really, when you think about what I'm about to tell you, it was her fault, not my fault. And so Dottie West gets to this point, and I turn and I say, now? And the lady, she holds my shoulder. She says, no, hang on. So she sings a little more, gets to some point, and I say, now? She goes, no, hang on. So I'm like, okay, wait. And she sings a little more. Then she gets this point in the band going, bah, 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 and the road manager goes, and Dottie turns around to her band and does this, okay? And so the road manager says, now, go. And I walk right out there on the stage. I'm 10 feet away from Dottie West, and I got the D on my. I'm about to say Dottie West, but but I got that like that, And she turns around and starts singing again. She turns around. She starts singing again. And I'm right out there on stage. I'm just like, obviously out there by myself. And I'm getting cold sweats just telling you this story right now. Okay, but here's the crazy thing, is that when she turns around and starts singing, I see her do this. She sees me. She sees me. And like that, I knew that she knew what had happened. Now, here's where you got to think with me here. She knew what had happened. She knew I had come out at the wrong time. She didn't know why, but she knew of this, poor goober that knocked me down last time. Now he's out here interrupting everything. And so this lady, Dottie West, 99 people out of 100, 99 entertainers out of 100 would have walked, put some distance between us, or walked up to the edge of the stage and kept singing and giving me chance to get back off the stage. She saw me out there, knew what was going on, and instead of hanging me out to dry, she put the microphone in her left hand and waved me and put her arm around me and put the microphone in between us to sing that last bit of glory, glory, hallelujah, da 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 da. I don't even remember. I'm about to faint right now telling you. But she saved me in front of all those people, right? She was she made it look like I was supposed to be a part of that. Are you kidding me? Now, I got to tell you, I can't even remember how much I groveled after it was all over and how sorry I was. And I never said, but your lady said, I'd never said that. I cannot be. And she just kind of laughed and said, oh, these things happen. Don't worry about it. And so I did not see her again until she, became part of the tour with Kenny. And I'm thinking, please God, don't. She won't even recognize me. And she walked in dinner that night and came up and she said, are you using a mic with a cord on it tonight? And I went, and she just laughed and laughed and laughed. And she was so nice. And so later, when I was first able to, there was a television show called Nashville Now at that point. And Nashville Now, it was a big show. It was a talk show in country music, and it was done from Opryland there in Nashville. And this show, it was huge. It probably wasn't huge in the standards of that time, but in today's time, knowing the number of television shows, it was huge. It would get 4 to 7 million people watching at a time, and it aired 4 times in a 24-hour period. And so I did the show month after month, and so at some point, Ralph Emery, who was the host, was out of town, and they asked me to guest host it. And I said, I would like to. That would be awesome. And they said, who would you like to have as your guest? And I said, Dottie West. I definitely want Dottie West. They said, we'll see if she's available. And she was. And she came on, and I told the story. And I said, I wanted you on here just to tell everybody what an awesome lady you are. Because most people would have, not only would they not have had the presence of mind to do what you did, most people aren't nice enough to do what you did. And so I was able to thank her in front of everybody And Dottie's gone. She was killed in an automobile accident, which is a very sad day for me. I also had another guest on that show, by the way, before I finish the story, and I had to talk them into doing it. Patsy Claremont, oh my gosh, are you on here? Patsy Claremont. Ladies and gentlemen, Patsy Claremont, she says her face is red for me. Thank you, Patsy. Patsy is like, she's one of the top 3 speakers you have ever heard in your entire life, and she's the best lady speaker I've ever heard, just to let you know. So I got to, also, I had to talk them into another guest. I was doing some stuff with Bob Hope at the time, and there was some singer that was going to be with us in Port Arthur, Texas one night, and I saw him, and I was like, this guy, oh my gosh, this guy's incredible. And so I went, have the opportunity to host the show, and I said, I want this guy. And I said, who? And I said, I'm telling you, this guy, he's better than anybody you've seen long. They go, I don't know. We need, because nobody knows who you are, and you're hosting the show. And so we need to have some big stars, Dottie West, but this guy. And I said, trust me on this. And I said, he'll be in town because the next night were the CMA Awards. And so he was up for the Horizon Award, which is an up-and-coming person, And I said, he'll be here. So I finally talked him into it, and had him as my guest, and made fun of his name and said, where'd you get a name like Garth? And so, I had Garth Brooks on there, and I teased him about his middle name, which is Troyal, Troyall, for those of you who didn't know. Garth Troyal Brooks or Troyal Garth, I can't really remember. But then the Horizon Award, he won it. And he won a few other awards. I'm not sure if you're aware that he actually won some awards. But the Horizon Award was my favorite one that he won, because I was able to look around at the National Now, booking people and go, I told you. And he was great on the show. And then when he won the Horizon Award, it was one of the funniest moments to me, because Garth, his first award he'd ever won, he gets up and he says, I want to thank my mom, I want to thank my dad, and I would like to thank God because he's done a hell of a lot for me. I just thought that was the funniest thing in the world. Irene Robinson, hi. Lena Barber, best lady speaker. Yeah, best lady. Oh, Lena Barber says best lady speaker. Yes. Patsy Claremont. You need to Google her, look her up. One of the 3 best years of my life was doing Women of Faith, because every Friday I was teamed with Patsy Claremont. And if you told me at the beginning of that, you're going to hear the same person over and over again, like 30 weekends or 30 Fridays a year for 3 years, I just said, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know. I don't think I can do it. And I'm going to tell you, to this day, I look back on that time as a time of learning. I learned so much from her, not just about speaking. I learned so much about grace, and just there was so much wisdom from Patsy, and watching her deal with people. She is just a hero of mine, just such a, and Patsy, you got to come down to the Gulf at some point. Bring your whole crew, but I want to have you as a guest here. Please, come on, you guys, thank you. I think we've covered it all. I think we've done pretty good. We're out of time here on the Blue Plate Special. Really appreciate you guys being with us. I promised, I'm recovering from this surgery. I'm doing good. They say good days and bad days, and that's true. But even the bad days, not as bad as they were. I'm coming along, and so I really appreciate so much you putting your comments in, and I will read every one of them, okay? I may not be answering every one of them because I don't want somebody else doing it. I want to read them, and And so it takes, like, if I'm answering every one of them, it takes 2 or 3 hours, and I'm just like kind of whipped. But just know that I am reading them and thanking God for you guys in my life. I appreciate you so much. Keep an eye out. We're gonna do another Blue Plate special either tomorrow or Thursday. We don't know. They're at 12:15, and that's why you want to click that notification button so that when we go on the air, you can be notified. We love you. Another Blue Plate special in the bag. Let's hear the music as we take off of Sugarcane Jane. Here we go. Goodbye.